Happy Thursday, and it's time for a new vlog. All right, today we have a very interesting topic to cover. If you could train, here we go. If you had to pick one RuneScape skill forever to train, what would it be and why? Oh, I'm not going to redo that. Sorry. I'm going to be talking about this very interesting topic momentarily. So before I dive into it, think in your head, if you were forced into picking one RuneScape skill for the rest of your life to do and still find joy on RuneScape, what would it be and why? Okay, so hold that thought and think about it for a minute. Hold on, I got to get a little hydrated. Think about that. Many years ago on RuneScape Deuces 2, I actually did the same skill for about 9 months. People thought that I was absolutely insane in the membrane. Fletching, for those of you that remember that. And I'll get to that momentarily. But for some updates, new video on my main channel. Definitely check that out. It's me fighting the Mumu boss, the cow boss. So many people are getting the pet, and I mean, it's a fun little easy boss. I mean, it's about time that Jagex actually did something for free to play, like I said in yesterday's vlog. And also, it's just something fun to really get in the game. Kind of like a holiday event in a way as well, too. Because if you think about it, when you do a holiday event like the Christmas event, Halloween event, you get a quick little, short little item and stuff. I mean, the cow slippers and the cow pet is what everyone is really after. And I mean, by all means, it's something cool. It's something easy. Free to play, can definitely do it. It's not something too crazy like Next. And it's just something nice and little quirky that the old school RuneScape team did. Agility. I actually gained a decent amount of XP in agility last night. I was actually watching some Prison Break. I'm on season 5 now, the new season. Completely different than the old ones as well. Prison Break is one of those shows where it went through a reboot. The show ended like back, I believe, maybe 2010. And then several years later, it did a reboot, which is pretty cool. So seeing the reboot is actually pretty awesome. I have not yet watched the Dexter reboot. I know that the Dexter reboot is utterly friggin' amazing. Don't spoil it for me, please. If you do, you are an a-hole. But I've heard many, many great things about it. Not to mention Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Sarah Michelle Gellar. She's actually in the Dexter reboot series, which is even more awesome. My account is too many logins right now, so I can't be on HDOS because some little hating little bungholians actually attempted to lock my account. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing Steam right now. And I'm not on HDOS. It sucks, but hey, that's what happens when you're a well-known individual like me, right? And also you have a legacy account. I log in using my RSN. I don't log in using my email address. Therefore, my account could very well get too many login attempts if you just type in my name and a random password, right? Okay, so today's topic, if you had to pick one skill in this game to train for the rest of your time on RuneScape, what would it be and why? So, if we go ahead and go back to RS2 days, let's say 2008, because that's really when RS2, because there's a lot of debatable people. A lot of people really say, well, RS2 was very much in the popularity before the Grand Exchange. However, social media, including me, brought in a lot of views for this game. So I beg to differ. I say that the prime of RuneScape 2 was really 2008 all the way up until probably summer of 2012. Ironically, that's when my analytics were at the highest ever, because that's when like the love for the game was just incredible. And then you had Jagex doing some, well, very interesting stuff. People got some hibbity-jibbities. Wait, microtransactions? What the frig? So, if you were... Oh, I gotta make a different vlog about this, too. RuneScape 2 has 2 different time periods. Before the Grand Exchange and after the Grand Exchange. So, let's go ahead and dive in to a time period of... Actually, you want to know what? No. Let's keep it real. If you had to pick one RuneScape skill right now to do for the rest of time, what would it be? There we go. That's actually a little bit better. Because it takes away all the old gameplay, especially maybe if you didn't play it. Believe it or not, I actually do have viewers that started playing on old school RuneScape back in 2015 and 16. So yeah, I mean, not everyone experienced RuneScape before the Grand Exchange back in 2007, 6, and 5. So if you had to pick one RuneScape skill right now to do for the rest of time, what would it be and why? So let's go ahead and dive into every single skill. So for me personally, the way that I'm thinking about it, attack is no different than strength, no different than defense, and hit points pretty much is all the combat styles. So those ones are pretty much just, hey, pick whichever one you want. Because if you want 200 million essentially in attack, cool. If you like 200 mil in strength, cool. If you like 200 mil in defense, cool. But if you're going to be training attack, strength, defense, also you throw in range to be a hippie ranger or mage, you're going to ultimately get 200 mil hit points as well. So hit points can't be used because it's a sub-skill in a way. But the attack styles, including strength, attack, and defense, those are actually your own preference of which one you would actually want to do for the rest of the time. Now, me personally, I would not want to do attack because I can't really AFK fully doing attack. And if I am going to be doing something for the rest of the time, I do want to really AFK it, but also have the option to really not AFK it as well too. And what I mean by that is like, you can theoretically AFK magic, but then also not AFK magic. You can AFK magic doing, making a whole bunch of planks, like I did to 99, or you could just barrage stuff and, you know, level up combat, right? There's 2 different ways around it. You can do the AFKing method, then you can do it in the non-AFK method. So for me personally, attack is really not there. Prayer is a money drainer. You would really have to be a special kind of artard to really just want to do prayer because you'd be draining your bank. It's like doing prayer for the rest of the time. It's going to get to a point where you're going to run out of GP unless you're buying bonds or illegally buying GP, right? Mage, you could be a barrager, you could be a plank maker as well too. Rune crafting. Now here's an interesting one. Theoretically, rune crafting, if you do rune crafting the non-AFKing method, you will be making utterly bank. So this skill is a utter money-making machine. If theoretically you were to do rune crafting for the rest of time, you would be a very wealthy RuneScapian. Your bank would be extremely valuable. And that's pretty interesting to really think about it, right? You could theoretically doing the AFK method at Zia for blood runes, then you could actually craft blood runes. You could also theoretically craft wrath runes or other type of runes as well. You could maybe do something interactive like Guardians of the Rift. So rune crafting is a very interesting one. Construction, it's going to get to a point where you're not going to be able to make money anymore. Agility, you do make money. I mean, we are making money by Marks of Grace. You could go to the Wildy agility course. That's also a really big moneymaker. So agility for some people, maybe you would. Because there are people out there that do actually want the experience of training a skill. Okay? I love to AFK RuneScape as I'm doing other stuff. And agility is just one of those things I really can't do. I can't even talk to people on this game. That's how bad agility really is. Herblore, there are ways to actually make money doing Herblore. So that's very similar to kind of Mage in a way. Thieving, there are ways to make money doing thieving. Thieving is very much a way to play the game. You could do Pyramid Plunder. You could pickpocket. You could make a lot of money pickpocketing. So that's one there. Crafting is very interesting. You can pretty much AFK everything on crafting. You can cut gems. You can make jewelry. You can do other drawing blanks, dragon hides. So there's a lot that goes into crafting. Fletching, obviously you can do a lot. You can do short fletching. You can make some bows. You can string some bows. You can make some arrows. So fletching could be very AFKable, at the same time not. Fletching can also make you money. Same thing with crafting. Slayer is probably going to be one that a lot of people pick, because Slayer involves all different kinds of combat. So I feel that Slayer, and believe it or not, probably runecrafting is really going to be a lot of people's choices. Hunter, you can train it in many different ways, so that's another good one too. Same thing with mining. You can do Motherlode mine. You can AFK at the stars. Smithing, you can do blast furnace. You can make some money. You could just get it very quick by doing Addy plate bodies, I believe. Fishing, you can also do a lot too. I've never done the temp mini game before, but I know it's actually pretty fun. So that's one way there. Cooking, I'm already 120 cooking. You do Dragon Slayer 2. You get access to the best range in the game. And it's pretty easy peasy Japanesey. Fire making, you can do Wintertod. You can do it the old-fashioned way. This is probably going to be another one very much up there. Wood cutting was actually not bad at all. AFKing redwoods was actually pretty nice and enjoyable. Farming too, you can do farming in multiple different ways. Trees, herbs. Sailing, a lot of people are probably going to say sailing, because obviously you can do the actual training method of sailing, or you could very well AFK salvage. So maybe you want to interact with your friends. You do some salvaging. Maybe you just want to make a bunch of GP. You're going to be doing the, what is it called? The, it's not Bermuda. It's, something different. So something other, like, minigame per se. Okay. Sinuses are also killing me. So if I had to pick one skill to train for the rest of my time on RuneScape, me personally, I would actually do something that would be AFKable and also not AFKable at the same time too. On the flip side, I do want to make GP, and then I also want a way to just really relax and watch a movie and just, hey, be able to chat on the game. And I actually had to think about this for a little bit before, like, hitting the record button, because I was really, believe it or not, leaning towards sailing, and I was also really leaning towards friggin' runecrafting. And the reason I say that is because when you actually do runecrafting, like I was actually doing some astral runes, it's actually not terrible to do, because you are very much playing the game. But it's one method that I just would not really want to do. Now, I haven't done the actual, like, non-AFK sailing, like, method. I know that the GP is a lot, And I also have watched a lot of people do it, and it looks friggin' fun. So it comes down to, can I salvage for the rest of the time on this game? Yeah, salvaging is pretty damn AFKable. Salvaging is actually more AFKable in my opinion than doing cooking to 200 million XP. And then when I want to actually play the game, I could just go ahead and do sailing and make a lot of GP, right? So, I'm kind of really torn myself. And the reason why fletching is really not up there is because of the GP value. I actually looked into this. You could theoretically make a decent amount of GP with fletching. But the thing about it is the whole reason that I went like over 9 months straight of doing fletching during 2009 and 2010 is because the GP was unbelievable. There was a time on RuneScape 2 where for a skilling method, fletching produced an insane amount of GP an hour. Like 200 to 300k GP an hour from doing fletching. Back in RuneScape 2, that is unbelievable for a skill, for you to be a skiller and get that return. So now it's like fletching, the GP is not there. Even cooking, the GP is not there. I was thinking about fire making, but Winter Todd doesn't even really give you the amount of GP that it used to. So, I mean, yeah, call me a little crazy, but I would say probably sailing or maybe something fun to actually do for like an hour to actually play the game would probably be to legitimately do blood runes. Make a lot of money. I'm not talking about Zia blood runes, so if I had to really pick one, I would probably say more or less maybe sailing. But then again, I haven't really explored the non-AFKing method of sailing. But it's just something really cool to really think about. If you had to choose one skill to do for the rest of your time on this game, what would it be and why? And sailing, I could because in the last like couple months when I was doing sailing, AFKing, I was able to do a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. I was able to talk to people. I was able to be interactive. I was able to do other shit on my computer. Now, like, I can't do that. Now it's like, if I do that, you get punished by marks of grace at a slim rate, right? So let me know in some nasty, dirty little comments down below. If you had to pick one skill to do for the rest of your RuneScape time, what would it be and why? And I'll see you guys tomorrow on a new episode. Stay motivated, stay healthy, and if you want more of me, check out Vito on Amazon. Link is down below in the bung bar, and later.